This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast for everyday runners. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher, and if you run, you're a runner, and every runner has a story. Join me each week as I share these stories and we celebrate finish lines and milestones together. This week's episode is brought to you by Amazfit. Amazfit is a global smart wearable brand that designs smartwatches, fitness trackers, and health technology for active lifestyles. It might be a brand you've never heard of, but they've been around since 2015, and I've been using one of their smartwatches, a GPS watch called the Balance 2, and my favorite thing about it is the battery life. 21 days compared to the Garmin that I use now. The other thing that you should know about Amazfit is that they have the highest quality products, but at a really competitive price point. So as an example, the Balance 2 is on sale for Black Friday at only $269. So when you compare that to the other products on the market, it's really competitive. And so if you or someone that you know or love this holiday season is looking to try a new GPS watch, look no further than Amazfit. Head to their website, amazfit.com. That's AMAZFIT.com. Check out their smartwatches and other products. They're all tied together in one ecosystem, one app for all of your health data. Thank you so much to Amazfit for supporting this podcast. Before we get into this week's episode, I do want to say that I'm so thankful for you, for listening, for supporting. And if you are thankful for this podcast, I would be so grateful if you would leave a rating or review or share this podcast with another runner in your life. I am hoping to grow this community looking into 2026 and beyond. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And now for this week's episode, I'm so thrilled to catch up with my friend Matt May, who I met originally on Instagram via the Ainsley's Angels family. If you don't know Ainsley's Angels, we talk about that a lot in this episode, but it's an organization where you can lend your legs to somebody who can't cross the finish line themselves. And so Matt was on the kickoff call for the Marine Corps Marathon team for this year, and that's really how we got connected, and now we're friends. So I love talking to him about Marine Corps, but also learning a ton about his own running experience. His very first marathon and ultra marathon, both of those were this year, earlier in the year, and he did his first marathon with Ainsley's Angels. And he actually had signed up for his first ultra marathon before even doing a marathon. Matt is super outdoorsy. He's an Eagle Scout. He works in the outdoor industry. So we talked a lot about that stuff as well. But I know you're really going to enjoy meeting my friend, Matt May. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Thanksgiving week.
I know, right? It came in quick. Like after Marine Corps, it's like I am ready for more food.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, it's about that time.
Yeah.
Thank you for recording with me on a Monday when you're off
Mhm.
work to get a tattoo. So that's where I want to
Yeah.
start. I want to know what tattoo you're getting today.
So we're finishing up my, I guess, lower arm. So I
Okay.
have a sleeve from my shoulder down to about my kind of, I guess, my elbow. And then we're working on, I mean, the people can't see it, but I got like Mother Nature and then Father Time kind of
It's
a
incredible.
scene. So it kind of,
Yeah.
the upper part is kind of a swamp scene. So it's got like a cypress tree, a paddler, a bird, and then the inside has like a little snake. So it kind of goes into like a whole like nature sleeve. So
So
we're
cool.
finishing it today. We got some blank spaces we're kind of filling in to just connect the two.
Nice.
So, but
So how long will that take today? Like how long are you scheduled to be in the chair?
I think maybe he said like 3 hours or so. So he doesn't have to really draw anything up. It's more like I sent him some pictures of the blank spaces and he's just gonna put in some filler or connecting. I don't know. He's done great so far. It's been a fun process.
How long has the process been? When did you start
I
this
think
sleeve?
so. This was maybe 2 months ago. I've been going,
Okay.
yeah, about every 3 weeks, just to where it can heal up and then get more work done. So I think this will be the fifth session. So we've
Okay.
done like Father Time's face, Father Time's hand, and then Mother Nature's kind of line work, and then Mother Nature's shading, and then today's just the extras, just to tie everything together and finish it up.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
wild. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does this impact your running? Because you're not supposed to work out right after you get ink done. So like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I've been texting my coach. She has a couple tattoos. She's like, "Oh, really? Again? Okay." Kind of
Annoying.
like,
This is annoying, Matt.
yeah, like, so I did it. I just say easier stuff where I tried not sweat. She's like, "All right, we'll just do some power walking." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I put on my weight vest and just try to walk. And one of the notes, she said, "Try not to sweat." I was like, "We live in
I
Louisiana.
was
It's
just
gonna
gonna
be a."
say the
I, was-
same thing. I
I
was like,
live in
how the
Louisiana.
hell are you not gonna sweat in Louisiana? I'm sweating just thinking about it.
Yeah, I talked to the artist and told him, I was like, "Hey, this was, months before Marine Corps. I was like, hey, I'm training for a marathon. It's hot. What should I do?" He's like, "Okay, just if we're doing the second skin thing, just do your best to, take it off and clean it." But that's what I've been doing. Like I did the North Shore Half Marathon, I think 4 days, 3 or 4 days after I got the line work of Mother Nature done. And
Wow.
it was one of those. I bought a sun sleeve because I didn't want to put any sunscreen on it. So I bought like in the race pictures, there's me wearing one white sun sleeve.
People were like,
I
what in
look
the heck? It's
ridiculous, but
hot, man. Like, what are you doing?
no, no, it was an amazing day for weather-wise for Louisiana anyway. It wasn't super hot.
Oh, that's
So the
good.
sun sleeve, I mean, and I wear sleeves all summer long, like just sun shirts, when I'm doing my paddling
Mm.
stuff. So having that sun sleeve, it was super thin, and when I took it off, there was definitely some like ink residue or whatever on the sleeve. I'm like, okay, well,
Oh,
so went to
well,
the bathroom, cleaned it, and then put some lotion on it, and I was like, okay, we're good. It's healed up really nice. So I'm happy with it. It looks great.
that's amazing. It does look really good. It's
Mhm.
really
So,
beautiful. So
yeah.
people should look at the video so they can see. You
Yeah.
could kind of see it, I think, but it
Yeah.
won't do it justice.
Mm-mm. No, I'll post it on my social media at some point. He's shared on his page a couple of times, so it's always fun when the tattoo artist shares the tattoo that you just got, and you're like, "Oh, all right, they
Right.
like it."
Yeah. Yeah.
I've gotten other tattoos that the artist didn't share. I was like, "Well, I like it." So that's
Right,
all that
that's
matters.
that's actually I got a fine line one on my like forearm and I got it
Mhm.
it would have been about a year ago and she
Yeah.
never shared it and I was kind of like, does she not like it? Cuz you're right, like
Yeah.
shared everything
Mhm.
else. I was like, "Will you send me the
Yep.
pictures at least cuz I love
Yeah.
it."
Yeah,
I think I had her
exactly.
take out some flowers that I didn't love and I think maybe that pissed her off a little. I don't know. But
Mhm.
yeah,
You know, if you like it, that's all
whatever.
that matters.
Right, it's
Yeah.
like that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I will be
I'm
going back to her at some point cuz she did a great
good.
job. So,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, I'll be done for a little bit after this, but I got one in February after I finished my ultra, and I was like, I'll be done. No, I wasn't done. So I have another idea and another idea and another
Yep.
idea. I don't see me being totally covered, but like, like definitely like my tattoos will tell stories.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I have 4 and they're all pretty small, but
Hmm.
the last one I got is a little bit my husband calls it my cuff or like my sleeve and I'm like, "Honey, it's like I mean, it's like barely anything." But I don't know, who knows? It is a slippery slope.
It is. It is. I got my first random one. I guess it was earlier. I guess it was last year now. Met up with he was supposed to come down. He got a flat tire. I was like, well, I'm already at a tattoo shop. Like, you're an hour out. I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. So went in. They're like, yeah, we do get what you get here. We got a big dice, and then each number correlates with a drawing. I was like, well, are there any inappropriate things? Anything that's like not cool? They're like, no, it's like trees, flowers, skulls,
Okay.
birds, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I flipped to the book and I was like, I'd be fine with any of these. Roll the dice and it would landed on a fish. I was like, okay, at least it's a fish. It suits kind of my personality, like being naturey and fishing and
Right.
outdoorsy. But I put it on
Absolutely.
my thigh, and his name is Storm and Norman. It's a little goldfish about this big. Took about
That's
10 minutes
fun.
to do. Yeah.
I love it.
So,
That's so
yep.
fun.
So my thigh is gonna be my. I have a spur of the moment. I just want to go get a tattoo and put something on there, maybe.
That's crazy. That kind of stuff makes me a little nervous. I'm like, I don't know. I think about it for
Yeah.
a long time and then I'm
Uh-huh.
finally ready to do it. And then
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see. But
Mhm.
I think as you get more, it's kind of like, whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. Now I have like this is my most visible one and it looks amazing and I've gotten tons of compliments on it. So, I've been hooked for a while. I got my first one probably 20 something years ago. So,
You've been hooked with running for a while. You've been like a lifelong
yeah.
runner too.
Yeah, since
So
high school. Since high
since
school.
high school.
Sophomore year of high school, I've been running on and off. Like high school, it was, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, I just kind of helped manage the team. I was like, I don't want to run, but I want to be a part of the team. So it helped keep times and motivate people. And I would do some of the workouts. And then in college, it was more like ultimate frisbee stuff. So it was being active, but not
Yeah.
necessarily just running. And I did a couple of races in college, just like your Santa runs and turkey trots and things. And then I did, let's see, I moved to Tennessee for a couple of years, and then my buddy got me into triathlon up there. So I was, rock climbing, whitewater kayaking, hiking, doing all the stuff you do in the Smokies. And he's like, come do a triathlon with me. And I looked at him, I was like, next year. Well, next year rolls around and we're still working together. And he's like, hey,
You're
Matt, you remember you said last year? I was like,
like,
yeah. He's like, all right, time to start training. Like, you got like 4 or 5 months to do it. Let's go sign up. And I was like, I don't have a bike. He's like, I'll find you a bike.
you're like, okay, how else can I get out of
Yeah,
this?
exactly. So I bought found a bike on Facebook or wherever it was at the time, a super heavy steel frame road bike, like down tube shifter. So to shift, I had to like reach down and like pull my little lever. Did my first triathlon and I was hooked. Like I loved it. I was like, okay, this brought back like high school cross country stuff. The community was great. And so I did a couple of races that year and did triathlon for about 10 years.
Wow.
I never did a full distance, but I've done 3 half Ironmans. And after my last one, I was like, I'm that was fun. Like I had a good time. I didn't really train much. I did train a lot for my first half Ironman, and then after that, I was like, I've got enough base fitness, and I'm an active person. I'll be fine. And I suffered
Yeah,
a
that
lot,
sounds so
a
painful.
lot.
So
It was a
for
lot.
the 70.3 races, the half
Hmm.
Ironman
Yeah.
races that you did, were those all
Yeah.
in where? Memphis? Were they all in Tennessee, or did you do them other places?
So my first one, I guess my first two were in Louisiana. So I did one in
Okay.
New Orleans. That was my first one. It was the New Orleans half Ironman. So swimming in Lake Pontchartrain area, which was kind of gross. Then biking around the kind of outskirts of New Orleans, and then the run was kind of through the lakeshore area. The
Okay.
second one was called Riveroo, which is in kind of outside Baton Rouge and New Roads. Nice for Louisiana standards, a hilly course. I had just gotten back from a backpacking trip, like the week before, so my legs were a little tired. So on the like swim was fine. Swim is my favorite one. I just love zoning out in the water and doing my thing and just kind of keeping going. But the bike was hilly, and I thought I was just tired from the backpacking trip. And I got to mile, I don't know, 25 or so, and I was like, this is not right. Something's not right. And I get off the bike and I spin my wheels and I hear this my back brake was just barely touching my wheel. So for like 15 to 20
Oh,
miles or whatever it was, I was going up and down these hills. I was like, God, I'm not this out of shape, like on a flat. I was like, why? What is going on? And I was in the middle of the race and
wow.
I was like, I got to figure this out. So I get off and get it situated and then trying to get that momentum back. I get off the bike and my dad was like, "You good?" And I was like, "No, this is going to be a long half marathon. I'm hurt. Like I'm tired already. My legs are shot." So it was a slog for that half
Wow.
marathon. Like I felt bad because they were like starting to pick stuff up and I'm like, "Come on, no. Like I'm not that far behind everybody."
Yeah.
Like they're breaking
Like,
down transition and I'm
oh
like, "Y'all
no.
like I need
Like,
I need some motivation." You're like, "Y'all aren't helping."
yeah, this is
Um
brutal. That would be
Yeah,
so
and
hard.
then yeah, and then I did Memphis 70.3. It was the inaugural year and it was a good time, but the weather was just garbage. Like rain driving to the parking lot. They pushed the race back like an hour because everybody was having trouble parking and getting stuck in the parking lots and having to walk about a mile from, where you park to transition and then go from transition to the swim start and everything was just delayed. So you're sitting at the swim start just waiting to go, and it's just a long line of people getting in the water. And so you're just waiting and it's raining. You get out the water and it's still kind of raining. Not a heavy rain, but just a consistent rain. The bike was a hilly bike for me. I was coming down one hill in a turn and a car almost hit me, so that was kind of terrifying. Get off the bike in the run. I got about 3 or 4 miles into the run and my IT band started tightening up. I was like, well, this is a familiar scene. So it was a jog walk for that 13 miles too. But I finished it and there's a video of me somewhere of, I'm kind of running towards the finish and somebody's cheering, go Matt, go Matt. And I just look at him like, I hurt. I hurt. And I just kind of finish and you're like, I'm gonna go sit down and eat. I'm tired.
Ugh.
And then we're walking back to the car with my bike and my daughter decides that she's tired. She jumps on my back.
Oh yeah, of course. You're like, oh girl.
Yeah, my wife's like, Kaylin, stop. He just did a half Ironman. I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
So that
fine.
was awesome. And then my last triathlon, I guess, was probably 2 or 3 years ago now, was a sprint, or a little bit more than a sprint,
Okay.
because it
I've
was
done a
like
long sprint before.
yeah, so
It's kind of
yeah,
funny.
so it was
Yeah.
like I think a 1,000 yard or 1,000 meter swim, an 18 or 20 mile bike, and then a 4 mile run. But I
Okay.
did it with Ainsley's, and
Oh,
that was a challenge. The swim was a piece of cake because the boat was towed just like a little bungee cord, so I would slow down, it would kind of catch up. The bike was tough.
was the swim is the bungee on your foot, I'm assuming?
No, so it's basically like a big, almost like a weightlifting belt. So it's a really thick
Oh, a
padded belt that,
belt.
yeah. So and I thought it was going to get in the way of my legs, and it didn't. I asked Landis, the Baton Rouge ambassador. I was like, "Am I going to
Yeah,
get all tangled up
interesting.
and stuff?" He's like, "It's weird, but no, you don't. It just things just work." There was two little bungees that came off the back, the little, like a D ring, and it came off the back to kind of hold the boat on either end of the boat to where it wouldn't, get tippy, or it would
Okay.
track well. And so my athlete was Devin, and I've run with Devin a bunch of times with other races and stuff. She's a sweetheart. She was at Marine Corps,
Oh,
and so we did the race, and it was a good time. The bike was tough. I had to get off and push the bike because on my tri bike, it's like a super lightweight bike, and those chariots are not light. So
mm,
at one point, I didn't, because I'd done Crawfish Man, I think 4 times. This was my fifth time doing it. So I was like, I know the course, I'll be good, but I was not good on the bike. I hurt again. I didn't bring enough nutrition, and a guy passes me up, and I'm just like grinding the pedals
oh,
away. And he's
mm,
like, "You okay?" And I look at him, I was like, "No. Do you
oh,
have any nutrition at all that you can spare?" He was like, "Yeah, I got these blocks." I was like, "I'll take whatever you don't
oh,
need. I
that's
don't want to
nice.
ruin your race, but I'm
But thank
pooped.
you. Yeah,
Thank you." So he gave me
man.
like two or three of the goo blocks. Then that got me to transition. And Landis was like, "You good?" I was like, "I'm just tired. I'm ready to, get this run done, and we'll run, walk it, have some fun with it." And ate a banana in transition. Got my socks and my run shoes on, and I was like, "All right, let's go for our run." And it was, through a neighborhood, and it's got a nice little roller hill. So it was another challenge, but it was fun. And Devin got out, and we ran across the finish line together.
Oh, that's so fun. So you're gonna have to tell people now, although maybe in the intro, and maybe people who listen to this have heard me talk about Ainsley's Angels over and over
Yeah.
again.
Right.
But for
Yeah.
people who listening who might be new or have like never heard of Ainsley's Angels, will you tell people what it is?
Yes, so it is an organization that promotes inclusion without limits, basically opens up the endurance community to everybody, whether you're physically disabled, mentally disabled, if you have any kind of health issues, if you want to be in a race, there is a way to get you in a race, whether it's a road race, bike races, I'm sure are out there. Spartans, obstacle course races, trail races we're starting to get more athletes in the
So
trail
cool.
races, and it's so cool. It is such an
So
amazing group
cool.
of people. I've been racing with Ainsley. I think now I'm about to start my fourth year with
Wow.
them. A friend of mine got me into it, and I've been trying to bring people in and like, look, you don't need to be fast. You just need to just want to do something more.
Yes. Yes. I love it so much. And so that's how you
Yeah.
and I got connected. And we
Uh-huh.
met for the first time in DC at Marine Corps this
Yep.
year. And I
Uh-huh.
didn't realize that that was your first Marine Corps marathon. You
Yeah.
probably told me that, but so that's
Right.
amazing that your first Marine Corps marathon you did with Ainsley's Angels. It's
Yep, it
so
was an
incredible.
amazing I've kind of been running since high school, like we were talking about, and for the
Yeah.
longest time, I didn't really want to do a marathon. I've done road races most of my life, and I was like, one year Rooster was like, "You need to come do Marine Corps," and I was like, "Nah, I'm not worried about that." He's like, "How about just Louisiana Marathon? Like that's a local race for you." I was like, "Nah, I don't know." And so, fast forward a couple of years, I did a half marathon with them, I guess 4 years ago. My friend and I pushed together, and since then, if it's a road race, I'm trying to push.
Yeah, I love that.
This year, I did my first marathon in January with Ainsley's, and then I did one in New Orleans called Hotter Than Hell Marathon. It starts at midnight, and then I did Marine Corps Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a big year for me, just upping my mileage from what I've been doing most of my life to now I've done 3 marathons and an ultra marathon just this year.
And it was your
And I
first
don't
marathon ever was this year.
yes.
And it was with Ainsley's Angels.
Yep.
So
Yep.
cool.
I was at the start line, nervous as all get out, and my friends that were there, like, you can do this. Like, you're a strong runner, and that thing in the back of my head, kind of that doubt was there. I was like, no, I
Yeah.
I have some confidence, but I'm still nervous. Like I can cover the distance. It's just a matter of how I'm going to feel doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that was kind of in my training block to train for my first ultra. Because I wasn't planning on doing a road marathon, but I reached out to Landis and was like, shot in the dark. Hey, do you need anybody else for Louisiana? Thinking and kind of hoping. He was like, I need someone to push for the half. And he sends back a message. I need someone to push Courtney for the full.
Just slightly different
Like,
things.
yep. I was like, and I looked at my wife. I was like, I mean, I'm training for a 30-mile trail race. What do you think? She's like, I mean, sure. So I was like, all right, sign me up. So,
Wow.
so I text my coach. She's like, okay, cool. Well, we'll shift things a little bit, do some more strength stuff, and yeah, you'll be fine. And so she did the race too, and she got to the finish and was able to give me my medal. And she looked at me. She's like, "How do you feel?" And I did like 3 squats while holding on the chariot. She's like, "Okay, you're ready for your 30." I was like, "I think I am. This was a good time. This was
Wow.
a good test." And that put a lot of
Yeah.
confidence into kind of just where I've kind of been going this year with running.
Yeah. So pushing for your first marathon, did you have a partner or did you push solo?
Sort of. So I wasn't supposed to have help, but there was 2 friends that were supposed to push someone for the half. Their rider got sick for whatever reason, didn't show up. And so for Louisiana Marathon, if you've never done it, the full and the half run together for, I would say, 8 or 9 miles, and then the half
Okay.
kind of makes a turnaround, and then the full just keeps going. So they helped me push for the first, like, I don't know. I pushed for the first 2, and then they kind of switch back and forth because every big race, it's really hard to navigate for that first little bit because they're so tight. And
Yeah.
so with Louisiana, you run downtown, you run down a hill, you run over a bridge, you make a hard right turn, and then you can start kind of spreading out a little bit. So that's about a mile and a half or so. And then we started switching off every mile. And then after that, it was me from whatever it is, 8 or 9, all the way to the finish. So
Wow.
it was a great time. I saw a lot of people on course I knew, which I was just surprised at. My cousin, they live on the route. I didn't realize this, but her husband ran with me for like, I don't know, a quarter mile, just in like his house slippers, cheer me on and whatnot. I was like, Jack, what are you doing? Like, stop right. Your girls are over at your house. Like, thank you. I'll see you next time.
That's so sweet. That's really
Yeah.
funny. How is the elevation? Is it flat for the Louisiana
It,
Marathon?
it's mostly flat. So around the LSU lakes, there's little tiny hills. There is a bridge that you go over right at the beginning and then right at the end. And there's a sign, some lawyer has a sign every single year just about who puts a hill at mile 25. You may be entitled to compensation.
That's a good
So
one.
it's just yeah, so you go up this bridge, it's and right at the top, mile 25 sign. Like, okay. And then you get to go down the hill, and then you think you're
Okay.
done, but there's a deceptive little sneaky little turd of a hill, and it just kind of sneaks up on you, especially if you're pushing the chair, you're going down the hill, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
why am I going uphill again? And then you make a turn, then you finish going towards the Capitol, and it's a really cool finish. So from I guess mile 25 to 26, where that you see the 26 sign, you're running towards the Capitol, and people are hooting and hollering that whole corridor. But
Hmm.
there's little elevation by the LSU lakes, and it's just tiny little bumps and rollers, but it's mostly flat. And then the back half of the marathon, it's pancake flat. So
Wow.
it's a good if you want a little bit of a faster marathon, I would say it's a good one. Weather's usually good. Sometimes it can be a little bit cold, but it's usually good. Like this year, I ran in a tank top, some arm warmers and gloves for a while, and then kind of stripped off my layers.
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So, what made you sign up for a 30-mile trail race before you'd ever run a marathon?
So the year before that, I did the half marathon, and my friend, she'd done Ironmans and marathons and whatnot, but she was pushing for the marathon for her first time, pushing one of our friends named Christina. So we were cheering for her. And by the end of the day, I looked at my Garmin and my step count was like 22, 23 miles. And I was like, I could do a marathon. I don't need to do a marathon. Let's bump it up a little bit to an ultra and just
Yeah.
skip a road marathon and do a trail ultra. There's an organization here called Q50, and they do trail
Hmm.
races, and they put on one big extravaganza in February where this past year there was a 50, a 40, a 30, a 20, a 10, and a 5. So it's like
Okay.
pick your distance. Come out, be a
Wow.
part of the trail community. You don't have to run. Here's some ample cutoff. So I messaged a friend of mine to see if she wanted to do it because she likes doing stupid, crazy stuff. And she said yes. And it was a good time. She lives in Georgia. So her and her friend came in. We spent some time together and did the race. And we talked the whole race. It was one of those times where you have headphones, but you never use them. If we weren't talking, we were just in the zone running for a little bit, and then we would start talking about whatever it was. That's who I'm doing the podcast with. We're starting one, and it's called Bananas and Wood. So you'll
I
have
love
to,
it. You did tell
yeah,
me
you'll
that. I
have,
love it so
yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun name and it's a fun story, and it's just gonna be fun talking to people, kind of like what we're doing here is just
Yeah.
connecting people, whether we're athletes, whether it's we don't have to talk about running if we don't want to talk about running. Like, let's talk about your
Tattoos
mom, your
and
dad. Like, yeah,
yeah.
exactly, just building
Yeah.
a connection, building a community.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it so much. What is her name?
Her name is Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I can't
Yep.
wait to hear you and Sarah's podcast.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
When
have
is it
them.
gonna launch?
Oh, we don't know yet.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Next
fair.
year, next week, when we decide it. We're
Whenever we
slowly
want.
building everything. Yeah, right. Whenever we want. There's no rhyme or reason. Hopefully, but next year, holidays are going to get busy.
Absolutely.
She's got a preteen son, and she's busy with life. We're busy with life. It's one of those. Hey, we haven't talked in like 3 weeks. Let's just get on here and just talk. Like, okay, cool.
Yes.
So we've recorded 2 episodes so far.
Awesome.
And so we're gonna have some guests on and talk about races and life and all the things.
Perfect. Perfect.
Hmm. But
Well,
yeah,
what you hadn't mentioned about your first ultra marathon. Do you know what I'm going to ask you?
I think so.
What place you came in?
Yeah. So I went into this race wanting to just go have fun. Like, it was a beautiful day. I'd done the marathon, and between the marathon and the ultra, I think was like 2 or 3 weeks. So that 2 weeks, I think we did maybe one or two more long runs. And I was just like, I just want to go have fun with it. I like trail running. I like being in the woods. Zero expectations. I think the cutoff was like 14 hours. I was like, we could walk the bulk of it if we're having a hard time. Let's just do that. So, day comes, we're nervous, gun goes off, and we just start going. Miles are slowly getting ticked away, and it was a looped course. So it was a 10-mile loop. And so it's one of
Okay.
those, we can get aid. They had an aid station. I think it was at mile 2. And then that little bit made a little loop. So you pass it again, I think at mile 6. And then the aid station at the check-in, checkout at mile 10. So you get technically 3 aids each loop, which was great. And it was a hot day for Louisiana in February. I was wearing a tank top and shorts, and we were just sweating. Like, the first round, so like the 40 miler and the 50 miler went off an hour or 2 hours before us. And I saw my buddy who was attempting the 50. He came back and he was just drenched. I was like, "Did you swim?" He's like, "Dude, it's still hot." I was like,
Did you swim?
"Great." They're like, he was drenched,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This does not bode well for Louisiana." And we had a cool winter. It had snowed, like, great. And then
Right?
race day,
Yeah.
it was like 75, 80 degrees, and we're just like wringing stuff out at the end. Anyway, so race is ticking by, and we're talking with people, having a good time. There's a lot of people cheering on course. There's dogs, at the campsites, and eating all the snacks and drinking all the things, whether it's like, we didn't do any alcohol. They had at the A station, they had alcohol. It's like, I'll eat a quesadilla and a banana and some pizza, some candy, some chips. I don't really feel like alcohol, but a beer might have been good. So
Yeah.
we're doing the race, having a good time, and we get to the finish, and I'm just exhausted. Like mile 27, 28, 29, I was just like, I'm tired. Like, my hips are hurting. Everything is a little bit bothersome. Let's just get this done. And so we're walking, and then the finish had another little sneaky hill, and she's like, "Come on, we got to run this." I was like, "Fine, fine." So we're running, and we get to the finish, and we finish the race, and we hugging our loved ones, and then they hand me this piece of pottery. Boom. They're like, "Hey, you got first place mail." And I looked at her. I don't know if we can cuss or not, but I looked at her.
You
I was like, "Are
can
you?"
say whatever you want.
And I looked at her. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "I won?" Like, "Yeah, you got first place mail." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, like a mid pack run. I'm always like in the middle, like top of the middle or bottom of the top is what I say." They're like,
Yeah.
"No, you won." And Sarah got second place female. I was like, "Wow, okay, cool, thanks." And like, the thing's on my mantle right there. I can pull it down if you want to see it. It's like a beautiful piece of pottery. And the
Yeah. Okay.
cool thing was,
Show the people. Make the people watch
okay,
the video.
okay, come watch the video. So before the race, there's a local potter named Craig McMillan, and he makes these amazing pieces of pottery. And before the race, they were showing pictures of like, hey, here's what you could win if you get, like first, second, third place in whatever race it was. And I was like, man, I want to get one of those one day. And sure as shit, like, got,
My
you know,
gosh.
Q50 kind of, embalmed or emblazoned there,
It's beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty on the mantle, so it's one of those. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a beautiful piece. It's a good memory, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to keep it forever.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, please don't break it on yeah, can you I
Yeah,
would feel
I made a
yeah.
little joke. I was like, I'm gonna keep it until I die, and then get cremated, and just get stuffed into that and capped. And
It did have like a little bit of an urn vibe only
yeah.
because I guess any vase on the mantle is like,
Hmm.
but I
Yep.
pictured it being like brown clay, like straight up just like off the potter's wheel. I don't know why, maybe
Right.
because the ultra marathon scene, but like that is a
Yeah.
beautiful piece.
Exactly.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
What a great prize.
Yep. And the other thing for the people that finish the ultra is you get a, walking stick for afterwards.
Oh,
So he goes and like grabs a bunch of Goodwill canes and kind of wood carves Q50 extravaganza, and
that's
so I
funny.
got that, and then I got the walking stick, and that's part of the whole bananas and wood story. Is I did this for a banana at the finish line and a walking cane
Yeah, and a piece of wood.
and
Cool.
a piece of wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a fantastic race. And again, my coach was there cheering on, and she was like, "You liked it?" And I was like, "I mean, I'm hurting, but yeah, I did." She's like, "You're going to do more?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do more." It wasn't that moment of one and done. Like after the marathon, I loved it. Like it was one of those, yes, this is hard. Like I had a blast doing it. Like I spent
Yeah.
4.5 hours. It was a beautiful day. I've spent a lot of time in the woods in really crappy weather, a lot of time outside in really crappy weather. So I know how to handle myself. But these days that I've had have been so great so far. And it's one of those, I'm going to keep going until I don't like it. And that's what I've been doing most of my life. Like with triathlon, I didn't not like it. I just honestly the bike rides were scaring me. In our area, it's getting a little bit busier, and there was a couple people that got hit or had accidents. I was like, I don't want to be that number. So let me just run on the trace. It's a little rail to trail system right by my house. So that's
Wow.
where kind of stepping, out of the triathlon thing and more into the running thing. And then I love trail running. It's a blast. I mean, I did one this weekend, and I've, ate shit once, rolled my ankle twice. It was, yeah. Yeah.
I
It's been
I'm
fun.
dabbling. I have a friend who listens to this, Ashley. She'll listen and
Yeah.
she loves the trails. Like that's her jam.
Hmm.
She's done 100 miles. She's a
Yep.
beast. She's incredible. And so I've
Awesome.
done like limited trail running.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see how much more I start to dabble, but I'm getting a little bit of an itch. So the race that you did over the weekend,
Yeah.
you recently did two races. Are you
Yeah.
like racing every weekend?
Uh, Not really, but it almost seems like that. Like we were like after Marine Corps, like I had been really training hard for that ultra, and then over summertime we were kind of doing a build for Marine Corps. So, every weekend we were doing long runs. My longest run I think before Marine Corps is maybe 18.
Okay.
Um, so not a crazy long distances. Before the Louisiana Marathon, I did a 20 miler in the woods on a wet, rainy day. It was an amazing experience, and that was my long run before the marathon, and then the 30 miler. And then after that, we were just kind of building speed and trying to build some durability for Marine Corps because it's
Mhm.
a hillier course, it's a new area, it's pushing still. And so
Yeah.
it was one of those of like really my focus was Marine Corps. And then after that, I kind of hit that, post marathon blues and it's like I don't really feel like doing anything. Kind of little niggles in my hip and my foot, and I just don't want to do anything. Like I'm lazy. Like I don't. I've if it's been a good year, I've done 3 marathons, ultras, some Spartans, some trail, in
Crazy.
just kind of
Yeah.
absorbing everything. And then it was
Mhm.
one of those. Chupacabra is a midnight trail race that I've done, I think now 5 times.
It's so cool.
So and I was like, I got to do it. Like it's my favorite trail race. It's my favorite race locally in this area. And so I did it. I signed up for it, and I signed up for this armadillo dash that my friend signed up for the 5K. And I hate that I'm turning into this, but it's one of those. I'm not gonna drive all the way
I
across
know.
the lake an hour away just to go do a 5K. Like I'm gonna go drive an hour and then run, a half marathon instead. Make it
Yeah.
worth my time and my effort.
Yep.
And so he's like, okay, well, you start an hour before I do, so it's going to be a race. See who wins. I was like, dude, you're doing a 5K, I'm doing a half marathon. He's like, but you're faster than me. I was like, but I'm only an hour ahead of you. It's going to take me 2 hours. I can't run a half marathon on road, much less on trails, in like an hour 35. My PR is
Right.
like 146, 147 on the
Okay.
road and flat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I start and we're going. It's a 5K loop and then two 5 mile loops. And so we get done the first lap, and then the second lap, I see him, and it's a nice zigzaggy area, and I see him, and he's like, "You got to slow down." I was like, "Dude, I still have 4 miles left. I'm not."
Yeah. No
You're
way.
halfway done your 5K, and I still have four left. Like, I'm not going to catch you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. That would
Even
be
on the road, I
insane.
wouldn't catch you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless
he,
you, start crawling.
yeah, exactly. So, he eventually finished and I eventually finished, and I definitely went out way too fast. My first 5K loop was like an 8:30 pace, and get to the aid station. I was like, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. My dad was out there. He's like, "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, that was just too fast for the heat." Like it was, God, it must have been like 75 degrees, almost 80
Oh,
degrees by the time we
dang.
got. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was hot. Like, and it's in New Orleans, Norco, so it's in the spillway, which is a floodplain for the Mississippi River. When it does flood, they open up and they can flood this whole area out to relieve pressure from the Mississippi River. So we're running
Okay.
through some really cool trails. It's all single track. It's mountain bike trails, so it's really tight single track. So it's really hard to pass. And it was a good time. And Ainsley's New Orleans group was out there. They just got some new of the adventure chairs, so they were doing it as kind of like a test race.
Okay.
So it was cool seeing them out there, and they're like, "Yeah, these chairs are great." I was like, "I know, right? Like they're so fun to push." And the riders were like, "Do we need a helmet?" Like, "Mm,
Yeah,
maybe,
I mean,
like
maybe. I
maybe."
feel like if with me pushing, you should probably wear a helmet.
Yeah, yeah. So the adventure chairs they're a lot of fun to push. They're different than pushing like the road chariots.
Yeah.
The tipping point, if you just kind of like barely push it back, the whole chair is going to go backwards. So you got to really be careful about that. But the tires are
Interesting.
really cool. Like they'll just go over roots and rocks, and they do really well over sand, which is really cool. Like at the Spartan race in Texas we did,
Interesting.
it was basically like floating on top of the sand. It was really cool. It
Huh.
was an experience for sure. But yeah, so now that the New Orleans chapter has those, we'll be doing some more trail races. So between the Baton Rouge chapter, New Orleans chapter, and the South Mississippi chapter, all the ambassadors are going to start like picking and choosing where we can go with the adventure chairs now too.
So incredible. They
Yeah.
do look so fun.
It is
Maybe
fun. It's
that's
a
how I'll get into trail running.
yes, find
I don't
one.
know if we have any
Yes.
for North Central Indiana. I'll have to ask Christy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think if I've seen any pictures
Mhm.
of races nearby where I don't think so, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, Indiana does have trails. People
Yeah.
picture Indiana. It's like, where are you going to run in the woods? We got plenty of it. So back to the midnight 10
Yeah.
miler. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So midnight, what's the vibe? Like,
Mhm.
is everybody wearing not only a headlamp, but like light up stuff and
It depends. So you got some people that are serious about it and they're running with one handheld and one headlamp and they're
okay.
just taking off like a rabbit. And then you got other folks like I was wearing a headlamp and I got an Ultra Spire waist light that I was trying out again.
Okay.
And I mean it was great. Like I didn't trip once out there. It was really cool because I usually do pretty good at Bogachita, which is a hillier course, but at Fountainblue, another local state park, it's Pancake Flat, I eat shit all the time. So it's one of those I'm a little bit more careful on the hillier spots where I run more, but yeah, there's people with the vests, there's people with glow sticks, and Caesar, the race director, always gives a talk. He's like, "All right, who's crazy enough to do this for their first time?" And that was my first trail race with Q50, I think now 6 years ago. And so like I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
And the amount of people that come out every year, it's I think maybe around 100 people for the 5 miler and 10 miler combined, and it's just a fun vibe. Like you're talking to people, and that's what I like about the running community and the trail community. It's a different vibe than the road community, and it's one of
Yes.
those they just don't care as much. Like, what are you doing today? I'm just
Hmm.
gonna go have fun and finish. Like, what are you going? I'm not gonna PR. Like, there's no PRing out here at midnight. it,
Right.
it it's
Yeah.
definitely one of those. We're going to go have fun. Find someone that runs your pace, and I ran with two guys for the second lap, and the second lap, this dude in front of me just took off. He's like, "I'm gonna see what I got left." I was like, "You can go run your 8:30 pace." I ran a marathon a week and a half ago. I'm still tired.
Yeah. My body
So
still hurts a little. Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'm not sore, but I'm tired and I'm exhausted. And I'm doing this because I love this race and I love the organization and the people out there are amazing. And yeah, it's just a fun time to be awake. Some people think it's scary, but the woods were, I mean, it was quiet. There was one or two
Yeah.
spots where I was like, oh, what? There was something over there, but I'm just not going to look at it and just keep going. And if it's my time to go, if it's something gets me, then it's gonna get me. If the chupacabra comes and gets me, then so be it. I'm dying in my happy place.
Are they mean? They look so cute.
Hmm. Yeah,
They're
so it's
mean.
like a little swamp monster forest creature thing. So, you know, it is what you make of it.
Am I picturing the right thing? A chupacabra is the one of like the little,
Oh,
what do they look like?
it's like a scary haunted goat killer thing.
So
It's
it's
like
not the
a
cute things. Do you know what I'm talking
you mean
about?
you mean a capybara?
Yeah,
Capybara?
I'm getting
Yeah.
confused. That's
The
what I was
chupacabra
picturing.
would probably eat a capybara.
Okay, so that does sound scarier then. Because I was like,
Yeah, so
oh,
kind of like the Yeti and Bigfoot and just kind of one of
okay,
those. Like they may be out there or not, where it's just fun to talk about.
okay,
You know,
cool.
that kind of
Well,
cryptozoology stuff. Yeah.
I
They're
mean,
it's a fun race. And this year they kind of cartoonized the usual quote unquote chupacabra. So it looks like a little, Looney Tunes character this year. So it's fun.
that's funny. That's really funny.
Hmm.
Okay, back to Marine Corps. I want to talk
Yeah.
more about
Yes.
Marine Corps with you because we were both
Yeah.
there. Your daughter, how is it Kaylin? Is that what you said her name was?
Yeah. Kaylin. Yep.
Kaylin.
Hmm.
And you call her KK for short?
Yep.
That's
KK
so
or K
cute.
Bug.
And how old is she?
She's 9.
Okay. And this
Mhm.
was, tell people about what this trip was for her because I think that
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, so it was a trip of firsts for her. It was her first flight, first trip to a major city like this, first time seeing this big of a race. Like they came to Louisiana and kind of cheered on, but then they left. First time doing public transportation like we did, first time traveling like this. Like we've done like small driving trips, but like I said, it was her first time flying. So the anxious kid flying, the nervous walking around town, nervous taking the metro, the one bus ride we took from, I don't know, the bus station to the packet pickup. She enjoyed that. But it was interesting because she didn't fully understand how DC is very small and then like everything else around it has a different name. So we're like,
Oh,
hey, we got to go across the river to where I guess it was in Maryland, somewhere to go to packet
yeah.
pickup. And she's like, no, I want to stay in DC. We're like, you don't understand. It's all kind of connected.
It's
It's
all
kind of
DC.
like our
Yeah.
area of like, we live in an area called Covington, but it's right next to an area called Mandeville, and like they're just kind of weaved together, and it's all DC. Well, no, it's not. Now I know. So she got all upset about that, but it was a good experience, except for maybe packet pickup, where it was just too many people and she got overstimulated and she got super anxious. And
Mm,
they eventually got out of like the hustle and bustle of all the merch stuff to the kind of outsides of like the vendor tents. And
yeah.
her and my wife found like a beauty tent and they bought some like hair curler thing. And
There you
and
go.
she was like, I'm so
Excellent.
sorry we bought it. I was like, Is Kaylin okay? Yes. Are you going to use this a bunch of times? Yes. Then call it a wash. Like, we're good. We're good. Like,
Yeah.
let's go eat. Like, you need some food. And
Yeah.
so we did the traditional, what I call like the touristy stuff. So like she was really excited to see the monuments and the reflecting pool and all that stuff. So she was telling the class about all she was going to be doing, and I was taking pictures of her at each place. And she said she wants to do some sort of like presentation at school,
Oh, that's
just to
cool.
show what she did. So it's one of those. It could be cool if we get them printed up. Um,
Yeah.
but like that day was just a beautiful day. What 2 days before the race, and we're just kind of hanging out at each little spot, walking around town. We ended up doing like 5 miles, and so that was really cool for her to see that she can do a little bit more than just sit on the couch and just kind of wander around. And she'll do some
Mm-hmm.
races, 1 milers and stuff. But she was super excited, and then turns out on race day she got sick.
Saw that.
So
Yeah.
that was that was a bummer. So, doing the race stuff, we meet up with everybody, get to the race, and they were going to be either at the race start with the Ainsley's groups from like the Baton Rouge chapter that we know, or at miles like 22 and a half at that turn where that aid station was where Ainsley's was set
Oh,
up.
yeah.
So I didn't see them at the start. It's like, okay, cool. I'll just message them at mile 20, see where they're at, and didn't check in because I was in marathon mode and I was busy, and
I can't,
me
it's
and
hard
Scott
to
were
even,
pushing, and
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
yeah. So get to mile 20 and we're running on the bridge, and I text and I was like, hey, checking in where y'all at, and I just get back, Kaylin's been throwing up all morning. Shit. Okay. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll be done as quick as I can. Like I'm at mile 20, I've got a 10K left. She's like, take your time, we're fine, we've got snacks, we've got water, do what you need to do, enjoy your race. I was like, I'll do my best.
Oh,
So
that's
finished the
so
race.
hard.
yeah, finish the race. I hang out with some friends for a little bit and, eventually make my way back to the hotel with some people. And, as I'm getting to the hotel, I was like, hey, I'm going to stop at the CVS by the hotel. I'm going to pick up whatever we need. She's like, okay, get this, 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 and this, and, normal throw up stuff. So Pedialyte,
Yep.
electrolytes, right. Go to McDonald's next to the hotel and get some French fries
Oh,
and
yes.
trying to carb her back up. And so we just have a chill night. I go get some takeout and we just eat in the hotel room. Eventually we all go to sleep. Next morning she wakes up and we're like, hey, Kaylin, how you feeling? I'm really, really, really hungry. Okay, she's back. Cool. We're good. So we eat
Wow.
breakfast and then we go to Arlington and do that and then get back to the hotel, grab our stuff and go to the airport.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I was like, if you were gonna be sick, I'm kind of glad it was on race day because you got to do literally everything else, like the
Yeah.
historical side of things. It's like you've seen me race before. It was a lot of people, and I think if she was going to be sick, I'm glad it was on a race day.
Yeah. That.
It was in a better controlled environment being at the hotel than being at mile 22 of a
Mm-hmm.
marathon and her getting sick, and then okay, well, what do we do?
Right. Yeah. Or like the day leading up to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you get sick
yeah.
at all? You or your
Nope.
wife?
Nope, we didn't get sick, so it
Amazing.
was one of those weird things, like, we ate all the same stuff at the dinner. It was just one of those, "Eh," for a little while, and next morning, she was like, "I'm hungry, my throat's sore," and she was good to go.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a very good trip. It showed her that she can push past that little comfort bubble.
Yeah.
We live in Louisiana, and we don't have much public transportation around here. I think she liked the Metro versus the Ubers, but the Ubers were a lot more accessible because with the Metro, it's like, okay, we gotta go to the metro station and then wait. And with Ubers, like we can sit right here and they'll come pick us up.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
she liked to train. She liked to train
Yeah.
a lot. So we'll have to plan a trip to, like, I want to go back to New York. And I think she would like the subway system there because it's a lot easier, I feel like, than walk. I mean, I feel like in New York, the subways are a lot closer,
They're
like
just
what every
everywhere.
block or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can go that way and hit a train, or you can go that way and hit a train. That one goes this way, that one goes the other way. And in DC, it was like, okay, I gotta go to Crystal City, which is on the other side, so I gotta go another block to go down and around. I'm like, okay, I don't live here. Tell me where to go. I'm like, just get my Uber.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks to you. Thank you for helping me navigate the race morning stuff.
Quick break in the show to thank another sponsor of the podcast, Foot Levelers. Foot Levelers is a custom orthotics company that has been around for over 70 years. They are completely custom to your feet, not one size fits all. They're designed from a scan or a mold of your feet so that you get support that is as unique as your running stride. There's 3 arch support, so most inserts only support one arch. Foot Leveler supports all 3 arches of the foot, creating a stable foundation for your whole body. Proper alignment of your entire body reduces stress on your knees, hips, and spine. It is great for runners who are trying to prevent injuries and anybody dealing with back pain from daily life. And speaking of daily life, it is also a great product for people who are on their feet all day. It doesn't have to be just about running. There are options for every shoe and lifestyle. And Foot Levelers, again, has been around for decades and is recommended by healthcare providers to millions of patients looking for better movement and less pain. If you would like to learn more about Foot Levelers, you can go to their website, footlevelers.com, and find a provider near you. Thank you so much to Foot Levelers for supporting this podcast. Now back to the show.
Well, thanks to you. Thank you for helping me navigate the race morning stuff
Oh,
because,
right.
yeah, I was supposed to get in the van and then I realized
Yeah.
that I was one of the people who was like, didn't have the paperwork I needed to for the base
hmm
stuff because some people went
Yep.
on to like a military base and then,
hmm
yeah. And so you and I walked to the metro together. It's funny. I actually have a metro card that was mailed to me after I was like frantically trying to buy.
I, re-
I don't know if
I
you remember
remember.
that, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna buy it online before we go down there
Yep.
because I just picture in my head, I'm like, there's gonna be lines of like 50 people. I don't want to be late. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure I have my card. And like, I remember after telling my brother-in-law that, he's like, you can just use Apple Pay. You literally just use your phone. And I was like, well,
Yep.
cool.
I
Yeah.
learned that too. It's like booping it. And it's like,
Yeah.
why is the smart thing not working? And then I just did Apple Pay.
So annoying,
Damn it.
but it's
Okay.
fine. Whatever. We
Lesson
made
learned.
it. We made it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we ended up walking together for a little bit and then we met up with Annie, our rider, me and Scott's rider. We just all happened to be at the same station. But then we meet up with more Ainsley's folks in the train. And then we get off the train. There's more Ainsley's folks. So like the sea of pink just kept growing
Oh,
and
that's so
growing. And
fun.
it was such a cool experience. It was a little cold, but it was one of those we're all excited. Everybody's going in the same general direction. And then you see like our sea of pink just continue to grow. You're like,
Yeah.
this is a cool moment. Like I'm gonna savor this and embrace this. And it was a cool experience.
Yeah. And your partner, Scott, who you ran with,
Hmm.
it
Yep.
was his first marathon ever, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy. You
So
guys are crazy to me. I'm like, I just can't even imagine that. Like, as my first marathon.
yeah, so we've got a little friend group. We have a little group chat. And so Scott's been running with Ainsley's. He started earlier this year at like a 2 miler. And him and me used the same coach. So
Okay.
he was building up to the marathon. Like he had seen Marine Corps Marathon. He's a Marine. Well, I guess retired Marine, always a Marine anyway.
Okay.
So he's a Marine. And so he was wanting to do the 50th running of Marine Corps Marathon. And he saw that Ainsley's was doing it. So he's like, hey, let's kind of make this a fundraiser, a family trip, kind of like what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a couple of races together. So we did the Blue Moon race. I think that was what, in August. It's another night race in Fontainebleau. And then we did North Shore Half Marathon together, I guess 2 weeks before Marine Corps. And then we
Okay.
did Marine Corps together. And so it was definitely it was a great time. Scott's a cool dude. So it was his first half marathon distance race at North Shore Half while we were pushing. He did like an 18 miler in training, but it was his first official half
It's funny.
marathon. And we get towards the finish and we're clicking away at like a 7 pace, and we're all just like we're suffering. Our other helper, Alan, who's rider, didn't show up, so we had 3 people for the half
Okay.
marathon, which was great. Like
That's
I'd never
nice.
run with 3 people before. It's like, hey, I only ran with Devin, I think 2 times, 3 times. So we were
Right.
just, just hauling butt. And this race course is flat. And so he was like, let's push the pace a little bit. And me and Scott were like, I don't know, dude. Like, you're fast. We're kind of medium. And we're getting to the finish line. I'm like, y'all, my PR is like 152, I think. And so he's like, we got this. And we get into the park and we're just hauling. I look at my watch, I'm like a 6:30. I was like,
Oh no.
nope, nope. We're gonna bring this back a little bit. And we eventually finished at like a 147, 148. And so I PR'd, Scott PR'd. I don't know what Allen's was, but it was a good race. And
Wow.
then we get to Marine Corps, and his long run up to that, I think that point was 20. So we
Okay.
get to mile 20, and like, right as I'm texting my wife, I take another video and I send it to some of our friends. Like, this is this dude's PR distance. Everything else is after this is just icing on the cake, kind of a thing. He's like, yeah, boy, let's go. And so we finish it, and he's kind of absorbing everything. And, it was his first marathon, so automatic PR.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that is your first marathon is pretty
Hmm.
epic. And how did you
Yeah.
end up did Rooster, who's Ainsley's dad, by the way,
Hmm.
did
Yeah.
Rooster rope you into signing up? Like, how did you end up signing up for Marine Corps?
So a few years ago, Rooster came down. So he's from Louisiana area, Lake Charles. So the Lake Charles Ambassadorship puts on this amazing race called Sunset 5K. Amazing fundraiser for the organization, and it's a pancake flat 5K. And they put on a team dinner beforehand. And so we're at the team dinner. He's hanging out with us and kind of making his rounds. And he's like, "You need to sign up for Marine Corps." I was like, "Nah, maybe later." And then like fast forward 2 years, and I wanted to be a part of the 50th running of the Marine Corps Marathon, and then the 250th kind of celebration kind of after that.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those, I want to be a part of it. Like, I'm just going to be another number in the crowd, but I was there. Like,
Hmm.
I was there. I've got my little blanket over here still.
Mine's
It's
right
one of
next, yeah,
those.
on the floor next to me
Yeah.
too. Yeah. My dog lays on it.
But yeah, I'm like, my dog's not getting this one. This is mine. She has other blankets. But it's one of those, I've been with Ainsley's now for, I guess, now 4 years, and like I want to do more. And that was a huge, boost of confidence. Like, okay, cool. What I get a lot of people of like, well, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I'm like, yeah, you can. Like, can you walk a 5K? Yeah. Then you can join Ainsley's. Like, you don't have to
Mhm.
sign up for a race. You could just be a part of it and support it, show up to races and help set up, or
Yeah.
just cheer us on. Like, we like to support. I like when I'm pushing and people are cheering for Annie or Devin or Christina or
Yes.
Carly or Aiden or whoever, Sebastian, whoever else I've pushed over the years. And if they have the ability with my athletes when they're smiling, I can see it in their faces. And it's just heartwarming. I love it. It's one of those, I have the ability to do this. I get to do this. I pay to do this for these races.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to pay to do that. I'm like, I know, but it's going towards a cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get a banana and a medal sometimes, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
another 5K t-shirt. Like, I
Right.
opted out for the turkey trot shirt this week. I was like, I don't need another turkey trot shirt. Like, I don't wear them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they're my
I
daughter's
agree.
sleep shirt.
Yeah.
So the fact that some races are now doing that, I'm like, I can save $5 by not getting a shirt I'm never gonna wear. Cool.
Cool. I'll do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll save $5.
Yeah. So how many races do you think in the last 4 years or so have you done with the Ainsley's Angels? If you had to like guess.
I'm pushing in the teens. I don't think I'm to 20 yet. I should probably
Okay.
like figure that out. So I got the Ainsley's Angels medal holder. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this home because it kind of looks like a weapon, and we only did carry on. Or we did one check bag. I mean, sorry, one check
Okay.
bag.
Yeah.
Like maybe it'll go in check bag. I didn't know what it looked like. So I'm gonna go through all of my medals and like pull off the ones I've done with Ainsley's. But I don't know. I feel like I've done probably at least 4 or 5 a year
Okay.
for the last 4 years. So it's close to 20. This year, I think I'm at 5 or 6 this year. I could probably think about it. But
Yeah.
yeah. If it's a road race, then I want to try to push. And now trail races too. It's like, hey, I'm doing a trail race. Is Ainsley's going to be there? Or if I'm traveling,
Mm-hmm.
like we did DC. If we're going to Tennessee or Arkansas or whatever, I'm going to email the ambassadors and be like, is there a race that I can sign up for if I get approval to do a race, like
Right.
a racecation kind of a thing.
I know. Approval. I like that. I feel the same. Another one,
Yeah, I know it's
but
a family vacation, but I want to go run a race. Like it's just a
right.
5K. Let's go. Like I'll be done in 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, so the next year is the 50th running of the Indy Mini in Indianapolis, where
Hmm.
I'm from. And so we're
Yeah.
trying to get 50 teams, which is,
Hmm.
I think, the same number we had at Marine Corps. And so I'm like visualizing the Sea of Pink at Marine Corps, and I'm like, that would
Yeah.
be so amazing for Indy. I mean, Indy
Oh,
has to get, we probably have like 30 teams if I'm like picturing. I mean, it's
nice.
pretty big contingency at the Indy
Good.
Mini. So
Okay.
if you want to come up to Indiana in
I've
May,
I've been that seed was planted I think 2 or 3 years ago.
good.
So Annie lives up in that area too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I pushed her at Sunset, I guess it was 2 years ago, her mom was telling me about it, and then Misty's put it in my ear, and then a few other people have kind of planted that seed. I'm like, that
Hmm.
sounds like it would be a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it's
you might
so
see me.
fun.
When is it?
It's May 2nd.
Okay, it's doable. I can make that work probably.
Okay.
Right before summer camp starts.
Exactly, which we would need to talk about. But
Okay.
the Sunset 5K, I was telling Rooster, my
Oh, it's
40th
a blast.
birthday is July 10th.
Okay.
And so the Sunset 5K next year is July 11th.
Hmm.
And I was like,
There you go.
that could be really fun. Like Lake Charles,
Yeah.
Louisiana. I saw there's a
Yeah.
casino there. I was like, I'll
Yep.
bring my family. Well, it'll be my first race as a master. I could also have my daughter, Sydney, who's 8. She has been
Hmm.
asking me to run a 5K. I was like, that could
Yep.
be really cool to have her
Yep.
do it too. So anyway, I'm like noodling on that idea as part of my
Good.
year of turning 40.
All right.
So
I'll come up and do Indy, and you come down and do Sunset.
it seems like a fair trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it. All
Yeah.
right. Pinky
So
promise we're done. It's locked
okay,
in
dang
now.
it. I said it out loud. Well, what's great is it's my birthday, so I can be like, well, to my husband, well, for my birthday, this is
I
one of
want
the
this.
things I want to do so many things for my 40th. I'm like, should I run an ultra marathon before I'm 40? Should I do this,
Yes.
that,
Yes.
all the
Yes.
things. Yeah.
If you can run a road marathon, you can do a 50K.
That's what
What's
everyone
a few
says.
extra miles? Yeah.
Right.
And the cool thing with trails is like you don't need to have speed. It's just consistency. Like just keep going forward. Like I've got a tattoo that says go the distance,
There you go.
take it after the song, it's one of those, just keep going forward. Like just relentless forward progress. And that's what ultras are, is just being stubborn and trying to not stop.
Yeah. The one I'm eyeing, we have a local one that's on a rail trail, so it's actually a road ultra.
Hmm. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is where I've done most of my marathon training, has been on this very trail.
Oh,
And so
okay.
for me, it's like, that's pretty approachable too. But yeah, it is a different mindset for somebody like me
Mm.
who's like a lot of times has been focused on speed or whatever. It's kind of like you have to it seems like you have to reset that whole side of your brain and just be there
Yes.
for the experience,
The experience.
which,
Yep.
Ainsley's Angels has really helped me do too. Cause it's to your point,
Yeah.
like I've done so many races. I don't need to PR every race I run. Like I would
Yep.
love to do this for others. And so,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And that's what it is for me. I feel like with Ainsley's, and then trying to get involved with it more in depth and seeing what else I can put into it. And I know there's like the other programs you can do, like the allied development program and all that stuff that a friend of mine's doing actually this year. And it's one of those like, okay, maybe that's the next step where I
Right.
want to take it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's one of those, we'll see. But yeah, I don't need another 5K t-shirt. I do this because it makes me feel good. I have fun doing it. My daughter likes seeing it and she wants to push at some point.
Yeah.
It's one of those, just got to find that race that we can do together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does your
I'm
wife
ready.
ever run?
So she does sometimes. It's a little bit harder for her to get the time to train. She is a little bit more of a high stress job. She's a director of biosafety for tooling. So it's a little more stress on her part. And I'm like, play outside and work in the outdoor industry. I just, man, whatever. And so
Sure.
we've done some 5Ks and 10Ks here and there over the years. So, but they're doing the 1 mile fun run, and I'm doing the 5K turkey trot on Thursday.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We're doing a 2-miler all together.
Okay.
We'll see.
That'll be fun. Just go slow and have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be
But
very cold up here. So I'm jealous of your turkey
no.
trot.
I mean, I think it's gonna be in the 40s or 50s here. So for Louisiana, that's cold.
It's gonna be in like the 20s. I'm already like
Oh, geez.
stressing about how I'm
No.
gonna get my kids not to complain. I'm like, this is gonna be really hard. I'm just gonna put them in their snowsuits or something.
Yeah. What's a snowsuit? Like we don't.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're a hunter, you don't have good layers here. Like,
Yeah.
oh, when it snowed in January, I think she was in like 3 layers of like sweat sleep pants. So they'd play for like an hour or two. They'd come inside and dry everything off and then eat lunch and then go back out. I was like, this is terrible. Like you're gonna get hypothermia and it's,
Yeah.
31 degrees outside. But it was a cool experience for their kind of like a first big snow. I mean, we almost had a
Totally.
foot of snow here. Like New Orleans had
It's
like a foot of
crazy.
snow. It was insane. Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
some
cool.
pictures and I was like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Is that the biggest snow you've ever seen in your life down there?
Yep.
Has it ever snowed there? Like
Yeah.
since
Yeah,
you've
it'll
been there?
snow it'll snow every few years. I'll say from the time I was born, I grew up in Baton Rouge, so the time I
Okay.
was born to now, I think I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Not much.
Yeah.
And I went out running in it. Like it was fantastic running in it. I was, put on some tights, put on, maybe 2 layers and some gloves and a little mask to cover my face. And I was running on my little rail trail system and I was making fresh tracks. And it wasn't iced over yet. So it was like a nice little
That's cool.
like a
Mhm.
nice crunch. Like I turned off my music. It was so quiet except for my footsteps. It was cool. But then a couple days later, it started turning to ice. I was like, this isn't
Yeah.
as fun anymore.
Yeah. I actually don't mind running in the snow. I feel like
Yeah.
it's almost warmer when it's snowy versus like when it's like super
Okay.
windy and freezing cold. But
Uh-huh.
there is something really special about that, the crunch of the snow and like how pretty it can be. I'm like psyching myself up to do winter running, if you can tell. Like it's good. It's
hmm
beautiful. I love it.
I like this. I like this.
I love this. This is great. How lucky am I? Okay, so I want to talk about your outdoorsiness. So,
Yeah.
did you grow up like really being into the outdoors? Is that how you kind of ended up doing what you're doing now? Kind of take us through that
Yeah.
journey for you.
Yeah. So did the whole Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, got my Eagle, and then I've been in the outdoor industry, I guess professionally now, I think 16 years. I will call it blame my old scoutmaster. His name was David Sneed. He passed away a couple years ago, but I think I was in first grade and he was trying to promote the Cub Scout pack that was at our school. And he came to the classroom and he tied a bowline around his waist, and it blew my mind. My first grade mind, I was like,
What?
"That was so cool." So it's a knot called a bowline.
Okay.
It's a knot that creates a loop in the rope, and it's a secure knot that doesn't slip.
Okay.
So if people if you're a sailor, if you're a hunter, if you're boaters, it's one of the main knots that you learn to just have a
Okay.
secured loop. If you need to tie something, it'll be like, hey, that loop's not going anywhere. It's not going to slip. But you can tie it around your waist really fast. And he did like a little timing thing, and our first grade brains were like, oh, you can go faster, go faster. And that kind of got me started in Scouts. So I went home and gave my dad paperwork, and they're like, okay, let's go. So got involved with the Scouts, and then got into Boy Scouts, and then did that whole progression up to get my Eagle, and then got to college. And when I was in college, it was one of those, what do I want to do with my life? I'm 18. I don't know. I like being outside. I don't really like math. I don't really like English or science. And so I was looking through these degree programs, and there was one so I went to Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana,
Okay.
and it had hospitality management and tourism. I was like, "Mm, I mean, it sounds interesting." And I started, talking to people, and I knew I didn't want to do hotels, and I kind of dabbled in some restaurant stuff, but there was a concentration called recreation administration. I was like, I like recreation. I like being outside and, doing sports and camping and fishing and paddling. And so I went towards that direction. And there was most like management courses and things like that. So for that major, you have to have a minor. I was like, well, I don't know what to minor in. And there was a chef that had just started working for the school, and he was trying to build up the culinary program. I was like, well, I like cooking. It's fun. I like to eat. My dad's a good cook. Why not? So I started the minor in culinary arts. So I told people I got a degree in having fun and a minor in cooking so I can eat afterwards.
I mean, sounds
So
pretty amazing.
yeah. So I got my degree in hospitality management and tourism with recreation concentration and the minor in culinary. Worked in a couple of restaurants. I was like, I'm not that type of person. I like cooking and I can go back. Like if anything ever happens, I don't think restaurants are going anywhere. I can go get a job at a restaurant, cooking, whatever. I just need some money. Let's go do that. But the outdoor side has been there kind of from the beginning with Cub Scouts and then into Boy Scouts, getting my Eagle. And then with college, I needed to set up an internship. And so I've, heard about this camp in Tennessee. It was a friend of my grandfather's who was like at that point in time when I met him, probably 65 or 70-year-old retired pastor. And he was showing me these videos of him rock climbing and hiking in Tennessee and videos of him ice climbing in New Hampshire. And he's like, you need to come up to this camp I worked at in Tennessee. You would love it. Fast forward like 6 or 7 years, I remember Bob and I was like, I need to set up an internship. So I got Bob's information and contacted him. He's like, okay, I'll put you in touch with the director of the camp. And we built an internship with the camp. And then, so I did a summer camp, like camp counselor job. And then for the fall, I set up the internship. So it was a environmental education program. So I was teaching like these outdoor education classes. So like stream ecology, orienteering. We did some caving. We did a lot of rock climbing and rappelling and just outdoor ed stuff. So like campsite selections, a lot of paddling in the summertime, just really fun things like that. And then I eventually moved back to Louisiana, and I worked for a program called Loop, was Louisiana Outdoors Outreach Program. So kind of that similar stuff, like initiative games, team building, communication progress, history of the area, natural history stuff. And then I
Mhm.
worked there for about 3 years. And then I have been also working with now Canoe and Trail Adventures for about 10 years. So yeah, I've been doing outdoor guiding for a long time now, and it's one of those I still like it. It's one of those
Mhm.
when I stop liking it, I'll stop doing it and I'll do something else. But I also work for an outdoor shop called Massey's Outfitters, and we basically sell outdoor equipment. We sell clothing, we do shoes, and so I've learned a lot about the retail side of things in the outdoor world. So now it's really cool being on the outside of it and then being on the inside of the outdoor industry.
Yeah. Do you sell running stuff at that store? I feel like I've seen you
Some of it.
share some
Yeah.
content about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a running specific store. There's one down the street called Varsity Sports that does that. But we have running stuff like your basic Hokas, a couple of Ons, some Ultras, some Topos, some Solomons, stuff like that. So to
Gotcha.
kind of get people into it. And then when people want more, I'm like, okay, here's what we can do here.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but yeah, I
So
just, I like running in Ultras, but I'll try running in anything and see what happens.
yeah. Wow. Well, like snow, and then also I saw a video of you running like after a hurricane. And you're like everybody's like, freaking out and I'm just out here just running.
Yep, yep. I think I did like, 12 or 13 after the hurricane, and that
You
was
know.
Hurricane Ida. That was the last big one. I was like, am I okay? Probably not. Like everything is, we're safe, we're fine, but
Yeah,
kind of
that's
decompress after a hurricane. So it's interesting when they hit.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's a really crazy time. How did you
Mhm.
learn all the outdoor stuff? The Eagle Scout in particular. Can you tell
Yeah.
people who aren't familiar with like Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, like What does it mean to you to be an Eagle Scout?
So what I tell people, it's you can work hard, you can work towards a goal, and like everything with Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts kind of builds on itself with like the skills. So when you're in Cub Scouts, it's very basic, like learning how to talk to people, learning how to tie your basic knots. When you get to Boy Scouts, it's more about learning how to plan everything. So like, hey,
Mm.
we're going to go on a camp out, plan it. You got the adults here to help kind of guide you, but you're going to plan the camp out. Like we're going to, let's say a camp called Camp Avondale. We're going to go here. What do y'all want to eat? Well, we don't know. Well, what do you like to eat? We're not doing hamburgers and we're not doing hot dogs. We're going to learn to cook. Like if you want to cook tacos, cool. You want to do scrambled eggs for breakfast, cool. You want to do biscuits, cool. The adults will be there to help kind of guide you how to do it and learning how to use those certain skills. Like, hey, we're going to look, building fires, setting tents up, learning to be prepared for certain situations in the outdoors. If you like recreating in the outdoors, of like, hey, if this happens, what do you do? Okay, go do it. Okay, if this happens, what do you do? Okay, well, go do it. We'll practice it. And I would say that just kind of progressed in my life, and I was able to find a job that pays me to do it. But I would say learning it, like the skill side was through scouts, and then the natural history side, the identification side, the getting more hands-on with stuff came from the Master Naturalist program that I took in, I think, 2016.
Okay.
So when I started working with Canoe and Trail, and it's a nationwide organization called Master Naturalist, and it just discusses the natural history in your particular area. So where I am, it's the greater New Orleans area, so a lot of history of the Mississippi River and how it was created by the river and how we have these, pine savannas to swamps to marshes to the Gulf Coast. And there's a ton of biodiversity here versus where I lived in Tennessee, where it's mostly like bedrock and,
Mhm.
really one or two types of ecosystems. Here, I think we've got like five.
Crazy.
And there's different things in those little pockets, and it's really cool. And so being in that organization, it plants seeds. And what they say is when you figure out what you want to learn more about is when you can go in deeper. So for me, I really like the amphibians and reptiles. So I like the snakes, I like the frogs, I like the turtles, I like the fish. And I mean, I've been fishing my whole life. So like it just kind of right in my alley. And then with the paddling, it's a little bit more of my, you know, up my sleeve. Like I like looking down. I like birds and stuff, and they're really cool to see. But for me and where I'm paddling, I like looking down at stuff and
Mm-hmm.
looking for the gators and the snakes and the turtles and looking for those little things inside the grasses and trying to point out the frogs and
Mm.
and it clicked in my head when I started working for Canoe and Trail. It's like people are paying me to show them the beauty I have, 10 minutes away from my house. Working with Loop, that second job I had after I moved back from Tennessee, it's like Louisiana is beautiful. You just gotta think differently about it. Like, yes, we have a lot of water around here, and some of our land is disappearing closer to the coast. And it's stunning. We get people from all over the world to come see what we have here in our little pocket of this, this state. Like I've had people from, I would say, almost every continent come
Wow.
paddle with us. It's really cool.
That is
Like
cool.
we've had people, like when we get people from Europe and, in the middle of the summer, I'm like, you're gonna burn bad. Like you are pasty white, and they come back as pink as your shirt. Like
Yeah.
it's like here's some sunscreen, just put it on again. I just did it. Put it on again.
Yeah.
Your skin's not used to this, and you're not wearing sleeves, you're not wearing a hat, you're barely wearing sunglasses. Like you got to cover up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I see your, what do you call them? Snelfies with the
Yeah, my
snakes.
snake selfies. Yeah.
I feel like 50% of the pictures that I've seen of you on Instagram now are of you and a snake. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my Lord. I mean, obviously, you know which ones you can handle, which
Mhm.
ones you shouldn't, all the
Yeah.
things about each type, but it's like,
Mhm.
whew.
Yeah, it's a friend of ours. So one of my buddies, Kevin, he kind of got me into like handling of the snakes.
Okay.
He's like, once you learn what's venomous and what's not, getting bit by a non-venomous snake isn't a big deal. Like there's very little pressure behind it. I tell people it almost feels like a kitten, where it's like you can feel the sharpness, but there's no pressure.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, once you get the reaction of like, to not pull away if you want to handle snakes.
Yeah.
They've got little like curved teeth, and if you pull away, it's when that cut gets bigger. So if you just learn to catch a snake and just let them bite you, they'll eventually let go and then they'll chill out. But you don't have to. Like I tell people,
Yeah.
you can just look at it from a distance, take a picture of it, and send it to me, and I'll help you identify it. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to go take a selfie with it.
Or just get some oven mitts. I mean, and lessen
Yeah.
the blow. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we have snakes in Indiana for sure, but not a ton, especially where I live. It's
Mhm.
pretty rare.
Mhm.
I've seen maybe a snake once while running actually very close to my house, which is kind of wild. It scared the
Yeah.
bejesus out of me because it's very unexpected to see like on
Yeah.
a sidewalk here. So,
Yep. Mhm.
but yeah, but there's so many.
Yeah, so I've seen a few running on the trace, but it's not a ton. Like they don't want to be around you, and like I
Right.
tell people, you don't have to get close to it. Well, it's in my backyard. I'm like, then spray it with water. Like if you live near the woods, if you live near a ditch or a drainage, there's gonna be critters there. Like you're gonna get some birds and maybe some, feral cats and maybe a snake and maybe a fox and, like who knows? Like, if you're in a neighborhood that has woods near it, they cleared some woods to build your house. Those animals are now in the woods close to your house and they'll eventually come find food in your yard. Like you kind of got to deal with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, learn to be okay with it, and you don't have to touch them. Shoo them with a broom. Most people get bit trying to kill a snake. Like, just don't worry about killing it. I understand if you have a dog, you have a cat outside, whatever, kids. I totally get it if you need to kill it.
Yeah.
Do your thing. But it's one of those you don't have to.
Right.
So, teach your kid to come away from it. If you have a dog, hopefully it's not a venomous snake. If it does get bit, there's antivenoms out there in vets, but you
Yeah.
can't prevent everything with all the things,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all about identification. And that's what I tell people is like, I know what not to pick up. Like that's a spicy one. We're gonna let that one, we're gonna take some pictures of it. And if it's in the way, just shoo it with a stick or a
Mm-hmm.
broom or whatever it is. If it's just a water snake or a ribbon snake, green, whatever it is, go pick it up. I'm like, send me a picture of it and I'll tell you if you can pick it if or not.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty quick about responding. If I see it in like the preview of like a picture, I'm like, okay,
Right.
what am I identifying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like at least now, thankfully, Google has made it easier to like
Yes.
identify things from pictures, but also
Yes.
that's not always 100% accurate. So
Nope.
that
Well,
also would, yeah. So good to have somebody like you double check.
yeah, learn the stuff in your area. Like I think we only have what 5 venomous snakes in our whole state, and I know which ones they are. And if it's a green one, I know right off the bat it's not venomous. Like they're my favorite. Like if it's a dark bodied snake and I can't see its head, I'm gonna be a little more cautious around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. If it's a brown snake with Hershey kiss, don't touch that one. That's a copperhead. Like we're not gonna mess with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
all about
gosh.
education. Educate yourself. You can spend an hour learning the snakes in a new area and then be good to go. Like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to Colorado somewhere, if I'm going to Utah, I'm going to look up the snakes in the area and be like, okay, if I see this out, I'm going to do this, that, or the other.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to, make another trip to Tennessee, I'll, confirm the snakes in the area and be like, okay, well, there's, cottonmouths and, copperheads. Cool. All right. I got those here. I know what they look like. I can avoid them or go handle whatever.
I feel like when
But
I
it's
do a
fun.
trail race, I want you to be there. Or somebody who has the level of expertise that you have needs to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Reach out to your local naturalist program and they'll
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So speaking of like hosting people from other countries when you guide, I saw that you have family in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your
Yeah.
heritage? Spanish?
No, nope. My cousin met a woman from Spain and they've kind of bounced around. They lived in the States for a while and now they live outside Madrid. He's
Okay.
like, invitation's open. If you want to come over here, come on by. Like I'm more kind of got like a French and German
Okay.
heritage. My grandmother's parents came over from Germany and my mom's mom was, Cajun French. So her
Okay.
family, South Louisiana, Cajun accents
That makes
and things like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
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 But
That
yeah,
makes
they
sense.
live in Spain now. Actually, so Billy's the one that lives in Spain. His brother Ken lives in Australia. So
These
I've got
crazy
family all over
cousins.
the
They're just
globe.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're living all over the
yeah, I've
world.
got family all over the globe, and at some point in time I want to go visit them, but it's just time and money.
Well, if you like snakes, Australia seems like it should be towards the top of that list.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my
But so,
gosh.
I mean, it's one of those, they're kind of my people, like they're naturalists and they like doing stuff. Billy and his wife Laura came in no God, that was this year. In like January, they came in and we went and took a paddle, and it was just cool hanging out and hearing Laura's stories of, she grew up in Spain, and, she didn't see Spanish moss for the first time until she came to Louisiana. And I was like, I'm going to tell people that in my tours, because I've had other people come on my tours that have done like the airboat things. And they're like,
Yeah.
the guide said the Spanish moss that's hanging in the trees was brought over by the conquistadors from Spain. And she straight up was like, I never seen this before until I came here. It's like, cool. Thanks. You've been a world traveler for years. I now got firsthand kind of that traditional ecological knowledge from, a Spaniard.
That is
And
crazy.
now, yeah. So, little things kind of get put into place. And it's like, I'm going to tell stories from, my cousins, and like, bringing in history to my tours. That way I'm not straight up lying to people. And if I don't know an answer, and be like, I
Don't
don't
know.
know. Good question. Let me write it in my notes, and I'm going to learn it. And then that way, when it comes up again, I'll know.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I tell people I'll never lie. I'll talk around the subject until you forget it.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Until you forget
we'll
what you
move on to
asked,
something else.
which is
Yeah,
also a great
exactly.
skill to have as a parent.
Yeah. Like, let's redirect over
Let's
this way.
just, yeah.
Look at that bunny.
We've had some conversations about Santa, about how kids are made like recently. And I'm just kind of like trying,
Yep.
it's hard because
Yeah.
you don't
Oh
want to
man.
just, yeah, we could go down a whole rabbit hole.
Yes. Absolutely. My wife and daughter are actually at a like a body changing class right now,
Oh, there you
as we
go.
speak.
I know.
Yeah, like
It's
she's
almost that.
9. She's gonna start seeing these changes, and they're taking care of that right now.
That's good. I
Like,
know.
okay, cool.
Thank goodness there's like now classes. And in DC, actually, I stayed with family and my sister-in-law was telling me
Yeah.
in DC they have a like physical store you can go in that has like
Oh.
education and like all
Mm.
kinds of crazy stuff, which is amazing. I was like, that's
That's
so smart.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You could have added that to your list while you were in town for the marathon. Didn't even know.
Lessons learned
Uh,
for next time I go up.
yeah, it'll be top of your list, I'm sure. Okay,
Um,
I am going to ask you the end of the podcast questions. I can't believe it.
okay.
So the first one is, what is your favorite running mantra and or song?
Okay. So I've got actually 2 tattoos that are, I would say, my kind of like life mantras. The first one, it was my first tattoo. It's on my ribs. It says "Live the adventure." Me and my buddy Jeremy both have it. He has his on his bicep, mine's on my ribs, and it's one of those, like, life sometimes sucks, but it doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to be an exuberant, grand, multi-country adventure. Like, I try to do my runs and I try to change my mindset, like, okay, this could be my last run. I don't really know what's going to happen. If
Mhm.
it is my last run, I'm going to try to make it a good one and enjoy it. You know, Driving an hour to Baton Rouge, like, okay, it's monotonous, but like, where's some joy? Like, finding some joy in like the everyday things, like having little micro adventures, and just enjoying the little things in life. And then the other one is go the distance. And then my other buddy, the one I did the race with this past weekend, he has his on his foot. I have mine on my bicep. It says go the distance. And it's one of those, my mom passed away from Alzheimer's about, I guess now, what, 4 years ago. And, that battle was along 6 years, and, so I have go the distance, and then the background's a purple ribbon that's kind of tattered. To just remind myself, like, I can just keep going a little bit more. I can go 1 more mile. I can hurt a little bit more, because on the other side of that hurt is happiness, even if happiness doesn't last. Like, enjoy the happy moments. They're not going to last forever. Embrace them, push through the hard moments. They're not going to last forever. And remember the lessons that you learned from that. So I'd say those 2 things are kind of what sticks in my head when I'm going through a little rough patch. If I'm missing my mom, if I'm having a rough day with Kaylin, if I'm having just a blah run, if I'm just not enjoying what I'm in, just take that step back and take a breath, be in that moment for a little bit, and then move on. Like in races, you hit a wall, just push past it just a little bit. Eat something, drink something, take 5 minutes, take 5 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of recalibrate it. It's cliche, but it works for me.
Such good advice, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, and then I mean, my in terms of favorite songs, it's I mainly listen to rock. So my favorite song of all time is Hotel California by the Eagles. That's just a good go-to,
Ugh.
just fun song. And then, I like the screamy stuff. So anything that can scream at me and get me feeling good. There's
Yeah,
a
that's
song
good.
called Second and Sebring,
Okay.
from Of Mice of Men, and it's a screamy song, but it's like when you can sit and listen to the lyrics or read the lyrics, it's really meaningful lyrics talking about like I hope I make you proud.
Mm,
It reminds me of my mom, not that she screamed a lot, but it's one of those,
yeah.
I hope I make you proud, you know, I'm gonna keep pushing through and, kind of being grateful for it.
Yeah. How old was your mom when she passed?
70.
Okay. God,
Mhm.
that's early for Alzheimer's, man. It is the
Yeah.
worst. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
you went through that for
it
that long.
it's tough. Yeah, 6
Yeah.
years, and it was one of those I would go in on Tuesdays. So I had people, yeah, I would post pictures or videos just because I wanted those memories. And you can see the progression kind of take that downturn. And it was hard. My God bless my dad. He did what he could. I would go in on Tuesdays and, he'd be at work for a while, we'd hang out and I would take mom out, we'd go to coffee call and get food and snacks and then as things progressed down, it was like, hey, we're just gonna sit at home.
Mhm.
You're not as mobile. You're not, personable right now. It's just kind of a shell.
Yeah.
But I'll say the one thing that will stick with me until I die is the last thing I said to her was, I love you. And the last thing she said to me in a very lucid moment was, I love you too. Passed away the next day. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
It was one of those, yep, okay, I'm at peace and yeah, I might be
yeah.
tearing up in a minute.
No, you're gonna get me too. I just think about
Yeah.
I mentioned you my grandmas both passed from Alzheimer's and
Hmm.
yeah, there would be moments every once in a while where she would just all of a sudden be like, "Where's Lisa?" And like she said it in a point where like we were just at the dinner table and she was just asking casually and you're like, "You remember?" But it would just be these fleeting moments. And so it's so incredibly special that you got that as like
Yeah.
that final moment that you can like really hold on to because
Yeah.
Alzheimer's is the worst.
Between Alzheimer's and ALS, yeah, it's
Right.
both sucks.
God. And like we could go on. But to your
Yeah.
point, it's like
Mhm.
we get to do this. And that's something that I always am reminding myself of too. And,
Mhm.
back to Ainsley's Angels, it's like we get to give other people this experience, which I think
Yep.
is just really special.
Very much so.
And then what is your next finish line or milestone? I guess turkey trot, probably.
Yeah, turkey trot
Technically.
on Thursday. Thursday, I got a
Yeah.
5K. We'll see
Yep.
how it goes. I haven't done much speed work lately, so it's gonna be fun. Part of me was like, I could do a sub 25K pushing if I trained for it, but I don't think I'm there right now.
Yeah.
I did Sunset 5K. It was like 20:45. So I mean, I'm edging on sub 20
Mm.
for a 5K, but I haven't done much speed work over the last couple months, so we're gonna go have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kind of plans into next year, I would say. So I'm doing Louisiana Marathon again, which I still need to
Okay.
sign up for, but I'm going to be pushing for that one again. And then it's still kind of in the works, and I talked to my wife about it a little bit. But there is a group of Ainsley's folks that have been doing these Spartan races, and I've been
Yeah.
loving
I'm
it.
glad you brought that up because I
Um,
forgot to mention that. You mentioned it
Yeah,
briefly. Yeah. So talk about that.
yeah. So I've done now, I guess the past 2 years, we've done Spartans in Texas. And Spartan's been a great organization with Ainsley's. It's a good partnership or it's a budding partnership. So we're going to hopefully try to do the 10K one on Saturday and then the 5K on Sunday. And I was like, well, if I'm there, I might as well try to do the 13 and just get the trifecta.
Yeah.
It's one of those, let's see if I can do it. But here's the thing is there's also a 50 miler that I want to do the next weekend so I'd be in Texas doing 3 races with Spartan with Ainsley's, and then the next Saturday do a 50 miler, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the 50 miler and then the Spartans. Either way,
Yeah.
it's like back to back weekends. I think it's
Yeah.
the 50 miler and then Spartan. So I'm like, do I want to push my body to that limit? And I'm like,
Hmm.
kind of. I kind of do.
Well, let's just see.
I think yeah, like if I go ahead and pay for it now, I'll suffer later.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be fine. Well, the Spartan stuff
Yeah.
with Ainsley's in particular. So I don't remember when I saw that like triathlons were even possible with Ainsley's. I don't feel like
Yeah.
people don't really realize that. And then the trail, like with the adventure chairs. It's like, holy crap. And
Mhm.
then Spartan. Okay. So for people who don't know what a Spartan
Yeah.
is, even what
Yeah.
obstacles there are, like I saw a picture
Yeah.
where you've got your athlete under the barbed wire. So could you just tell people
Yeah.
kind of like what that is? Because it's nuts.
Yeah. So it's kind of more like a physical race where there's obstacles that you have to climb over or climb under or dive under. There is a dunk wall that you go under a wall. The wall's like 8 inches wide, so you're not going to drown or anything, but it's a quick little bloop, and then you go under, you come back up.
So do
But
you
you
drag
have,
your athlete down and go under it?
so it
Oh,
depends on the water, depends on the athlete.
yeah.
So we did on Saturday. On Sunday, we did not because the weather dropped and the temperatures got cold. And it depends on the athlete's ability. Like if they have a feeding tube, if they have, things like that,
Totally.
maybe not so much. If
Yeah.
it's somebody that has a little bit more abilities,
Yeah.
then if they want to do it, let's do it. Like
Yeah.
we did Sebastian, we've dunked Matthew. I think Owen's been dunked a couple times. Like it depends on the athlete,
Yeah. That makes
and
sense.
it's a challenge. So we have teams of like around 6 people helping the athletes get through the course. And so we've got the adventure chairs, we've got trail chairs. So some athletes have their own chairs. They just change the tires to like a trail tire, and then off we go. If they need the adventure chair, then they can find the partnership with that and then get in the chair, and then we get to an obstacle. If it's a climbing one, there's ways to set up ropes and not be a official belay, but just be a little security line
Yeah.
and just being that little backup, that little safety, just in case the athlete falls. They're not going to fall and hit the ground. It's just going to
Right.
be like quick little slide, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So just, progressing through the course with each element. If we can do it, great. If not, then okay, cool. With Spartan, you're supposed to do like burpees or something, but sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's one
Yeah.
of those,
Yeah.
like the runners will partake in that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
they're so fun. The community, it's very similar to like the trail community and the road community where they see us out there. Hopefully it's the people that aren't the elites that are going to be a little bit more pompous about it because we're going to be moving slow.
Right. And
And
if
if
people
we're
are like
in
trying to get
your way,
around, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like sorry, we are not the fast people. The fast people started 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to take our time and have some fun with this and make sure our athlete is safe.
Yes.
And it's been a blast. I've enjoyed it. It was, 2 years ago I got asked to do it and I signed up and I was like, let's go. And so we did Houston and Dallas last year, and then this past year we did both days in Houston. And
Wow.
Dallas, I don't think is happening right now for Ainsley's, but it's growing. It's there's going to be more out there, and I can't wait to see it happen.
Yeah. That's so cool. What an
Uh-huh.
incredible
It's very
experience for
cool.
the athletes. I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to participate in that is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a one of the so after the dunk wall, there's a little like rope climb up, and there was a photographer at the top, and the wall might be 15 feet. It's not very tall, but it's super slick because it's wet. And we got one of our athletes, his name is Xander. We got him to the top, and he was starting to get a little nervous, a little
I
scared. And
mean,
Xander's dad was kind of helping out, and we're all pushing him and pulling him. And the photographer's just clicking away at these photos. And we get to the top, and Xander and his dad, Mike, have a nice moment and everybody's tearing up and the photographer's like, dude, what are y'all doing to me? Like puts his camera
yeah.
down and starts wiping his eyes, and like everybody around was hooting and hollering for Team Xander, and it
Yeah.
was it was just a cool moment to be a part of, and like everybody around it is seeing us with our pink. Or there's another organization called Dealers of Hope that's
Mm.
what they do is they do the OCR stuff. So if you're looking to get involved in OCRs, Dealers of Hope is another one. Oscar Mike is another one. So there's a few different organizations that are similar to Ainsley's that focus more on the obstacle side of things.
Okay, OCR is obstacle course
Obstacle course racing.
racing. Okay. And
Yeah.
then do you do
Yep.
any adventure racing?
No, but I want to.
Because you seem like the
Mm,
perfect
yeah,
person for that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've been told I need to. It's just one of
Yeah.
those. I gotta find one, and then time and money.
Yeah.
It's start looking and go in
Right.
that direction.
Yeah.
But like the navigation, the paddling, the hiking, the biking.
You could probably create your own like race and like, go down that
Yeah,
path because you would
yeah,
be
absolutely.
great at that. Yeah. I had a guest on. He was a race founder for one of our local races and he's super into adventure racing. And I had never really heard
Yeah.
about it. And so
Hmm.
that is a whole nother level of there's so many different things that you can do in
Yeah.
this world. And I
Yep.
wish I had all the
Hmm.
time and the money to do them all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with two young kids. Well, I have one young kid, you have two young kids.
Yeah.
It's like here's where life is going to go for the next few years, and I'm going to dip in some races of what I can do here and there. And I'm okay with that. Like it's cool.
Absolutely. I know. Yeah. And you and I are similar in that like our spouses have the more like stressful professional level job. And then we get to have a ton of fun for the most part. And so it's kind of like also finding that balance, which is really tricky at times.
Yep. Very much.
Yeah. But thank you so much for doing this with me. This was so much fun. I mean,
You're
I could
welcome.
talk to you for a long time, and I'm excited that I'll get to see you in May and July potentially this year.
Exactly.
So,
starting planning.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign up soon. I kind of signed up like for five races already.
I know. Yeah. My poor credit card, like the holiday shopping and like the race stuff is like, whew. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, totally. Can't wait to listen to Bananas and Wood.
Yep. We'll have you on too. I want to hear your stories.
I would love that. And I would love to meet Sarah. So, well, thank you. And thank you to everybody who has listened to this, and happy running. And Thanksgiving will have been yesterday, but happy Thanksgiving if people listen to this the day it comes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Enjoy your turkey nap.
If you enjoyed this episode of Finish Lines and Milestones from Sandy Boy Productions, sponsored by Amazfit and Foot Levelers, please, again, like I asked at the start, go share, go rate, review. It helps other people find the show, and I can't wait to keep telling these amazing stories of everyday runners. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Safe travels to anybody traveling. Hope you enjoyed your turkey trot, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.